into it. The specific objective of this program is to identify and effectively utilize digital assets, and then the various networks contained in the digital world. So far, we have gone a long way from the understanding of the concept of blockchain and its elements, such as the block, um, the nodes, that is various computer systems, and then the connection or the networks or the relationship between or among these elements. So this is not what we are going to start all over again. We have all these on our YouTube channel, Diaspora Digital Media. So if you want to have a glance or a full details of all of them, visit Diaspora Digital Media and then educate yourself. So today we are going to have a fresh topic, and that is on identification or um, understanding decentralized exchanges. Understanding decentralized exchanges. We are going to have a comparative analysis of traditional financial systems, and then what we currently have, which is decentralized financial systems and traditional networks. What is the relationship between them? What does one have that the other doesn't? So, discussing this topic today, we have two guests, two special guests. These people have always been our guests on this program, and they are experts in this field. The first person is Mr. Moses Obaje, Digital Chief. Mr. Moses, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Tuchuku. Happy being here this morning.
All right, thank you very much. And also we have our digital mama in the name of Mrs. Shifra Poloma. Mrs. Poloma, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tochuku. I'm glad to be here today.
Okay. Now I also have somebody to co-host this session with me, Mr. Omar Ibrahim Musa. I'm sorry for if I pronounce your name wrongly. You are welcome. Ibrahim, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm Ibrahim Morasi.
Okay. Now let's hit the nail on the head. We are now talking about the relationship between, we're going to have a comparative analysis between decentralized exchanges and traditional financial systems, specifically the banking system, and then what we have blockchain. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, I'm talking about Mr. Bajay. What is a decentralized exchange? And tell us how it works. Did you hear that?
Can you come again with your question? My network didn't allow me get that clearly.
Okay, I said for the benefit of those, there might be newcomers, those who have joined us for the first time. So let us know what a decentralized exchange means and tell us the mechanisms, that is how it works.
Oh, all right. Good morning to my listeners this morning. Thank you, Mr. Tuchugu, for that line of question. What is decentralized exchange and how it works? Now, a decentralized exchange, also known as DEX, we call it DEX, that's DEX, is a protocol launched on a blockchain network to facilitate the swapping of tokens without intermediaries. That is to say, to exchange tokens or currencies on the blockchain without intermediaries, without a third party. Now, it is a peer-to-peer marketplace where transactions occur directly between crypto traders. Now, that's why we say decentralized exchanges fulfill one of crypto's core possibilities. And what is that possibility? Fostering financial transactions that are not officiated by banks, by brokers, or any other intermediary. So that is decentralized exchange in simple terms. All right. That being said, how does the decentralized exchange work? I think that's your question also. All right. Now, with that special attribute of the decentralized exchange, which is disintermediation, there is no intermediary. Now, with that as a core philosophy of the blockchain ecosystem, decentralized exchanges have gained more popularity alongside traditional or centralized exchanges. Now, decentralized exchanges take a different approach to buying and selling these digital assets. There's a different approach to it. Like I said earlier in my definition, they operate without an intermediary organization. For transactions to be approved, for transactions to be cleared, all right, for payments to be made, they don't need any intermediary. Instead, they rely on self-executing smart contracts to facilitate all these tradings, all these transactions. Now, this dynamic enables for instantaneous trades, often at a lower cost than on a centralized crypto exchange. Now, if we are relating it to the bank, when we talk of instantaneous trades, once those trades are executed, it happens instantaneously. Now, you don't need to move from one place to another for that transaction to be executed. Now, if we go to our banking systems today, when you go to the bank for a certain transaction, number one, there's need for you to follow a queue. There is need for you to fill a teller.
I don't know if the network is on, it's coming from its side, the network issue. Mr. Obaje? Mr. Obaje, are you still there? Okay.
I think the network is from his side.
From his side, right? I think it's from his side. Okay, Mrs. Poloma. Mrs. Poloma. Unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Okay.
I think what the Professor Moses is trying to tell us is that DEX platforms are typically how it works is that with decentralization is the core philosophy of the blockchain ecosystem. And like he rightly said, we have what we call DEX, DEX. And on this DEX, the DEX platform, these are platforms that typically empty liquidity into the protocol. Unlike the traditional system that you have, in the traditional system, how it works is that the entire finance is centralized, and you have to like walk into the banking hall to be able to, even for you to open an account, it requires KYC and the likes. Whereas in the decentralized exchanges, we discover that that is not so. It is solely you that will certainly just process, create your wallet. It is more of individualistic and it is more of anonymous, Whereas in the banking, in the centralized system, you have to do KYC, you have to open an account, provide all your necessary details. Whereas in the DEX, it is not like that. And then in the DEX, you discover that the management of your resources is done via a third party or an intermediary. Whereas in the decentralized exchange, it is solely your own responsibility to create and open those accounts. And there's no third party or intermediary between you and then your funds, your finances. You are the sole, owner of your finance. In the centralized system of banking, there are restrictions sometimes. Recently, you'll discover that you have a cap as to how much you are expected to, access, even though it is your funds. But in the decentralized exchange, it is not like that. You have ample, it is left for you to determine how much you want to, access in your accounts. And in the traditional banking system, you discover that whatever you have is open to the banking system, to your banker and what have you, to know what you have. Whereas in the traditional, in the DEX, you are the only person that knows what you have. I think Moses is back. You can continue. Hello.
Moses, Mr. Moses, Mr.
Yes,
Baje,
Mr. Cook.
can you
Thank
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, network dealt with you, but you can continue now. Finish up.
All right. Thank you. Sorry for that. Nigeria now. Okay. I was specifically talking about how transactions are instantaneous via decentralized exchanges. But if we go to our traditional systems like the banks, for you to get access to cash or to funds, there are certain procedures that must be followed. Physical appearance, all right, filling out a check or a withdrawal slip, getting across to the cashier, and all of this takes time, which makes transactions take longer period of time. But with the decentralized exchanges, which is one of the dynamics of blockchain, these transactions happens instantaneously without any delay. And it also happens at a lower cost when compared to centralized or traditional systems that we have in place. Now, one of the things that the decentralized exchanges or platforms employ is they employ what is called liquidity pool protocols so as to determine asset pricing. Now, it is peer-to-peer in nature. These exchanges execute trades between users' wallets instantly. Between one wallet to another, this happens instantaneously, a process that some in the blockchain industry refer to as swap. All right. Now, the decentralized exchanges in this category, because of what I just mentioned, the liquidity pool protocols are ranked in total value locked. That is on the value of the liquidity of that protocol, the value of the assets held in the protocol's smart contracts are locked. That simply means that what you are transacting on is security approved. There are no breaches as far as your funds or as far as that transaction as at that point in time is concerned, because the liquidity of that transaction is locked. So let me stop here because I know Madam Kolonwa must have said something, because I know I went out for quite some time before returning. Thank you very much. Am I still audible?
Okay. Thank you. Let me ask, turn to Mrs. Poloma. Mrs. Poloma, you have talked quite a bit before Mr. Obaje returned. Uh, in terms of security of assets, is there any difference, or how do traditional digital systems differ from the decentralized exchange in terms of security?
In terms of security, the I'd go for the decentralized system, because whatever transaction one does is secure, and it's like pseudonymous. You are doing this transaction as an anonymous person, and then there's no cap to your access to access your funds. Whereas in the traditional banking system, you discover that there's a cap, there's a limit. You either have a daily limit, or I mean, in your transactions, be it as an individual with an individual account or a business account, there's a cap to how much you can access, no matter how much your funds are. So it limits accessibility to your funds because it is under GAG. There's a regulation. It is regulated by the central bank. Whereas in the DeFi, the decentralized exchange, you are the sole owner of your funds. You can access your funds any day, anytime, and it is instant for you to access your funds at any point in time. You're free to access your funds. And then you can do transaction with anybody around the world without restrictions. And these transactions take place instantaneously. Whereas in the traditional banking system, you discover that it is not so. You have to, there are certain protocols attached. If you are sending funds outside the country, probably there's need for you to go and even exchange the funds from, like I'm in Nigeria here, from my Naira to the dollar, and then like that. And it is full of regulations. Yes, we'll say that in the decentralized exchange, there are some risks attached to it, quite all right, the same way as the banking system itself. If you carelessly allow somebody to have access to your seed phrase or security, the security of your phone, if it is not secured, yeah, you are liable that anybody can hack into your account, but you can only hack into your account, not the other people's account, because it is centralized, it is blockchain. So in terms of security, I would say, to me, the decentralized exchange provides adequate security, because whatever it is, there's no mistake that you'll make. Even if you make a mistake in sending a phone to another wallet, these days the blockchain provides a check for you to find out if the wallet you are transacting in, on what network it is, and it will handle that. It will not allow the transaction to even go ahead. Whereas in the traditional banking system, if you make a mistake and send by, even if it is just one digit, and you transfer money to somebody, the process it will take you, you have to go to your bank, write, and then what have you, before you are able to now resolve. It will take you ages for you to be able to even resolve that particular problem. So I think these are the security implications for either the traditional or the decentralized exchanges. Thank you.
Yeah, well said. Let me mention that anyone from the audience who has a question should note it down in the question box so that at the end of the program, we raise them up, all the questions. All right, Ibrahim Umawase.
We can't hear him. We can't hear. Hello, we can't hear Ibrahim.
Hello, we can't hear any of the hosts.
We can't hear any one of them.
Mr. Tochukwu, Mr. Omar.
Before they come back, let's see how we can continue to talk about the differences between decentralized finance and our traditional financial systems. Now, I just want us to understand that traditional finance is centralized finance that manage assets on behalf of users. Third parties manage these transactions, and they also make use, some, if not because of the digital age, make use of manual methods to organize finances. They organize lending, borrowing, and saving money. However, technology has come to change that over time. But when we look at decentralized finance, it's a financial system focused on creating decentralized applications for blockchain technology. So decentralized finance allows users to send, receive, and even lend money without the help of third parties. That being said, with regards to decentralized finance, some of the differences I've come across in course of studies and research is, number one, management. Decentralized finance is decentralized, just as the name implies. In essence, it negates central management. No single institution or individual controls operations. On the contrary, smart contracts manage their engagements, allowing little to no human interventions. While the traditional financial systems, on the other hand, have centralized control. Now, for instance, the central bank is in charge of overseeing overall financial activities conducted by all banks. And so therefore, the organization is hierarchical in nature, with different people having different levels of ability to intervene in financial transactions. Another thing that which makes them to differ is the platform on which they operate. Because decentralized finance is a technological invention that operates on the blockchain platform. In turn, blockchains are hosted on the internet, like we all know. So accordingly, the centralized finance doesn't require physical premises to operate. But alternately, traditional financial systems are brick and mortar models. Thank God for technology that is making us have it handy, but they require physical space to function. So the platform on which they operate differs. Another point of difference is their transparency, because decentralized finance runs on public blockchains. Consequently, it is transparent. You can check it out as far as you have network connectivity, and because all these transactions are publicly verifiable. However, despite the fact that these transactions are pseudonymous, they are anonymous, these functions aid in concealing the true identities of the parties involved. But in traditional financial systems, they are private. They are not anonymous, but private. You deal with your banker, you deal with your agent or your broker individually. Furthermore, your true identity is revealed. In fact, we were having a lesson yesterday where somebody was able to cash out over $51.7 million from an investment. But because that person is anonymous, you can't get to know who is that person. You know of the transaction. Yes, you see the transaction because it is transparent, but you don't know. But as far as the traditional financial system is concerned, that transaction can be flagged because there is a central control. There's a central control. So there are so many differences between the decentralized finance and also the decentralized and our transitional banking systems. So there is control. In decentralized finance, you are in full control of your funds. But that is not true with traditional financial systems. You hand over control of your funds to several agents. The first is the central bank, which regulates the industry. Second, your bank is a custodian of your funds, not you. The third component is that agents or agencies that works for you. So you are not in absolute control of your funds. Just like Madam Paloma said earlier, the bank will even decide what they will give you. It is your own funds, but they will tell you, okay, this is the limit you can take from your own funds per day or per month or per annum. So these are some of the differences that you will find that with regards to decentralized exchanges and our traditional financial system. There are more, but I want to assume that our facilitators are back, and so I will give them room to pick it up from here. Mr. Ibrahim, if you are back, you can take it up from here. I just said, let me elaborate more on the differences between decentralized and traditional financial systems for more clarity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obaje, our AI prof. So I'm sorry for the inconveniences. We're having some technical and network issues from our in here. But as I was saying, I said for the sake of those who are joining us for the first time, we are proud to remind you that today's session was proudly sponsored by the Digital Assets Management Academy, DAMA, a premium digital education institution located in Garki, Abuja. DAMA is at the forefront of preparing the next generation of tech-savvy professionals and technical digital leaders across Africa. And so far, so good. We have learned that traditional finance relies on centralized intermediaries like banks and regulators, while DeFi uses blockchain and smart contracts to remove intermediaries, increasing access and transparency. That contrast brings us to a very practical angle. Mr. Obaje, from a user point of view, what are the main advantages of using DEX over a traditional exchange like Binance or Coinbase?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, like I said earlier, we should know that when we're talking of a decentralized exchange, there are no intermediaries. While a centralized exchange, there are regulators, there are people who are in control, there are third parties involved. So, with regards to your questions, what are the main advantages of using decentralized exchanges over traditional exchanges or centralized exchanges? And one of the most significant advantage of decentralized exchanges is asset control. It's asset control. Remember, in my last statement, I made mention that in our traditional banks, there is a capping to what you can access. These are your funds. These are your assets, but a cap is being placed for you to access those funds. Let's assume you have a business transaction that requires ₦1 million. But the bank is saying you as an individual cannot access ₦1 million at a go. All you can access is 500,000 naira. And there's a problem. That is to say, if there is not faking, that your business transaction might become flawed because you cannot access that which belongs to you. Now, that is to say, unlike traditional or centralized exchanges, users maintain full control of their assets or their funds, storing them securely in their wallet, which is a very great advantage. That is to say, users are not reliant on a third-party exchange to manage their assets, reducing the risk of hacking or theft, because the security of your assets is with you. But when you hand over your assets or your funds to a third party, there is that tendency that anything can happen to your funds. It can be hacked, or thieves can have access to it, thereby making you lose your assets or your funds. Now, another major benefit is the enhanced security offered by decentralized exchanges. Because since there is no central storage of funds, the risk of an exchange being hacked is significantly reduced. In fact, in some of our previous appearances, we made it clear that it is not possible for every wallet to be hacked at the same time. It's not possible. A wallet can only be hacked. And that's why if you are
Hello, can you hear me? I think he's having some network issues. It's Paloma.
Let me continue from where he stopped.
Yes.
Like he said, the DEX allows users to retain full control over their funds. So it eliminates third party, as we find in the centralized exchange. Also, there's enhanced privacy. Unlike the traditional exchanges, they don't require KYC. And there's reduced risks of hacking because DEXs are less vulnerable to large-scale hacks, since there are no centrally regulated funds, repository funds. However, users must still manage their own private keys. Like I said earlier, you have to secure your personal data because you are the sole owner and is sole control of what you have. Then the decentralized benefits, they embody the principle of blockchain technology. So whatever is imputed there, there's transparency, there's fairness, and there's freedom of access to one's funds. And then you have access to various, a lot of listed tokens. It's not that when you have in the centralized, when you have Naira is Naira, before you transact a business with somebody outside, you have to exchange to that person's currency. or you have to do Western Union money transfers and things like that. In this case, there are a host of coins and tokens in the market that you can easily swap. And wherever you send these tokens are, whoever you are doing transaction with has access to whatever you have transacted, the token or the denominator, whatever you have transacted with the person is just there for the person to exchange without any hiccups. And then we have what we call, there's low fees, as earlier Prof said. There's low fees. When you are transacting business, when you are doing transaction in a centralized exchange, the quantum of your transfer determines the amount that you will pay. Whereas in a decentralized exchange, the fee, whether it is in millions, whether it is in tens of thousands, the transaction fee is same. It's not magnified because of the size or the quantum of your transaction. So there are additional considerations to be made. DEX can be more complex in use because of scalability, because this innovation is coming in newly. One has to learn the process. Unlike the traditional banking system, when you go to the floor of the bank, if you don't know how to even write your check, there's somebody assigned that will help you to write the check, write the amount for those. And then one thing we should understand is that there are people that are unbanked because of the centralization of this, the traditional way of banking. Whereas the DEX is expected to reach the—
All right, Mr. Ibrahim, I don't know if I—
Thank you. Prof is back. Today now.
All right, can you hear me? All right, like I said, I'm back. Network threw me out, but I'm back. All right. I was talking about one of the benefits of centralized exchange over decentralized or traditional exchanges. Now, another major benefit is the enhanced security offered by decentralized exchanges. Now, because since there is no central storage of funds, the risk of an exchange being hacked is significantly reduced. All right, is significantly reduced. Now, this provides an added layer of protection for users, giving them greater peace of mind when they are trading, because the security of your funds is in your hands. It's not in the hands of anybody. Now, another thing is that decentralized exchanges also offer unparalleled anonymity. What do I mean? Users can trade without having to provide their personal information, allowing for a level of privacy that is not typically found in centralized exchanges. Because when you are dealing with our traditional systems or centralized exchanges, a lot of information will be required of you. Your means of identity, your email, all right? You need to create a password, your picture, and what have you, which makes you to be prone to insecurity, because if an illegal personality have access to those documents, it might be threatening to you. It might be life-threatening if you have a larger bag, all right? Now, furthermore, that being said, decentralized exchanges offer a unique advantage when it comes to geographical restrictions. When it comes to geographical restrictions, I think decentralized exchanges offer a very great advantage, because with no central authority, there are no restrictions or countries or regions for users, making it accessible to a global audience. Okay, if we look at, let's look at the decentralized exchanges. Now, let's take a case study of Binance in Nigeria. Now, in Nigeria, the services of Binance are flexible because it is centralized. and the government's eye is on that exchange. But with decentralized exchanges, that is not possible. That is not possible because there are no restrictions. There are no restrictions, whether you are in your village, whether you are in the city, wherever you find yourself, there are no restrictions to how you can operate with regards to decentralized exchanges. And finally, decentralized exchanges provide a range of tools for earning money. Range of tools for earning money, of which the range of earning money with centralized exchanges or our traditional banking systems are limited. While they may not really offer the same breadth of options as centralized exchanges, such as margin trading, currency investment, and liquid staking, they do provide a platform for buying and selling cryptocurrencies, giving users a way to engage with the market and potentially generate returns. In summary, decentralized exchanges have several advantages, but not limited to security, decentralization, enhanced privacy, high resistance to hacking, limited unlocked liquidity, privacy, anonymity, low fees, and transparency. Thank you. Mr. Ibrahim, you can take over.
You can't hear Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you, might be having network glitches.
Okay, maybe
What about me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
you're
hear
loud
you.
and clear.
Okay, I believe Ibrahim, while you are um, solving the problem of network. Okay, Mr. Obaje, I want you to clarify something. You talked
All right.
about centralization in terms of security, because I'm still on the issue of security because it is very important, especially now that scammers are, the number of scammers online is high. So you said that one advantage of decentralized digital system is that it allows or it vitiates the possibility of theft or scam. Now, don't you think that when there is decentralization and everyone has a freedom to do whatever he likes, that alone lends itself to, a risk, a high risk of insecurity online. But when there is centralization, when there is a central authority governing the whole system, it reduces the risk of scam. Hello,
All right. Thank you for
Mr.
that
Moses.
live question.
Or
The
Mrs.
network was
Solomon, you can attempt the question, attempt an answer to the question. Oh,
okay.
okay.
The network was not that clear when you were asking your question, but from what I got, it's as if you're saying with centralized systems, there is that a low tendency of theft or scams. Now, Mr. Tochukwu, I don't know. Even with the centralized system, the level of theft is on the high side. It's on the high side. What level of will you compare with you having your own resources? Okay, you have your own resources, and somebody is telling you that you cannot access those resources, that you have a limit to the use of your resources. Is that not theft? Indirectly, that's another means of stealing. That is to say that money that you gave to that central authority as at the time of when you need it is not there. It has been deviated, it has been diverted for another thing. If not, this is my property, so why are you depriving me from using it? That's one of the things with centralized authorities. And with the same centralized authorities, a lot of people have lost money. In fact, in one of our appearances, Madam Shifra made it clear that somebody, I cannot remember the name, kept money in one of these traditional banks over some years, only to come back and ask for his money, and the account is empty. What happened to that account? But what if that person kept his money in his own personal wallet, where nobody has access except him alone and maybe his wife? Do you think that that money will be missing? The answer is capital no. So you saying that because of security, I want to tell you that the worst security is decentralized security. Because if one thing happens, it destabilizes the entire system. Once a hacker hacks into a centralized system, even if it is just an aspect of that central system, the security of the entire system, of the entire centralized system, is affected. And so therefore, for that centralized system to function optimally, the entire security system of that centralized system has to be checked. So I don't believe, I have no iota of doubt that there is no way you can compare the decentralized system and the centralized system with regards to security. Now, whoever you see lost funds or assets in the decentralized system, it's either lack of knowledge or greed. Greed through unsolicited messages coming, and you see a venture that is too juicy and you want to go and take out of it, which is lack of knowledge, and being greedy can make you lose your funds or your assets. But on the centralized exchanges or centralized systems, you not even participate in any activity can make you lose your funds. Thank you.
I think I want to add something there. The previous week, we were all privy to what happened to one of the social influencers, VDM. His mother never took a loan, yet deductions were being made in her accounts. And that you will never find in a decentralized system.
All right.
We can't hear you.
That's a clear explanation. Yeah. That's an explanation that's justified everything that we have asked. And going further, I think we understand that blockchain provides the backbone for DeFi. It enables transparent, immutable, and programmable financial service through smart contracts. While the promise of DeFi is massive, it must also be grounded in reality. So, Mr. Obaje, what are some of the real-world risks or challenges users might face when using DEX? Are we overlooking some vulnerabilities in this system? That's my question. Thank you.
Can you come again with your question, please? Can you come again with your question?
All right. I said, what are some real-world risks or challenges users might face when using DEX? Are we overlooking some vulnerabilities in this system?
Well, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim, for that question. Yes, I will not say we are overlooking some vulnerabilities, but because whatever has an advantage has a disadvantage as far as life is concerned. But one thing we need to consider is you weigh the both sides. You weigh the advantages and the disadvantages. Which one is heavier? Are the advantages heavier than the disadvantage? Or the disadvantages are heavier than the advantages? Now, when you weigh them, that is when you deduce whether to stay put on what you know. And from the deduction on the advantages and disadvantages, or with the comparisons of the traditional systems and the decentralized systems that we have in place, I have come to let you know this morning that the advantages of decentralized systems outweigh the advantages of centralized systems. However, there are some risks or challenges associated with using DEX, with using the decentralized exchanges. And maybe I will just mention a few. Now, one of the challenges is the interface. Yes, is the interface. Because decentralized exchanges often have a more complex interface compared to decentralized exchanges, which can be overwhelming to new users. Remember, Mrs. Poloma said somebody who is an illiterate can just go to the bank and somebody can fill out his check. And then he can go and cash out. But with decentralized exchanges, like I said, the interface is a bit complex that just a new user can just go there and begin to transact. So this can be overwhelming to new users, and this may require a steeper learning curve and more technical knowledge for a new user to navigate the interface. That is one of the challenges. So as a newbie, you just don't go into the decentralized exchange and begin to transact. Eventually, you will lose your funds because you will do what you are not expected to do, or you will do it in the wrong way. So you need steeper learning curve, one step at a time. All right? And then you need more technical knowledge of the decentralized or the blockchain ecosystem. Number two, one of the challenges is liquidity, because it is an issue with decentralized exchanges. Often, or will I say always, the liquidity of decentralized exchanges is lower compared to centralized exchanges, which is resulting in higher spreads and less attractive prices for users. Because in centralized exchanges, you will see the liquidity in hundreds of millions, some in billions of dollars. But with decentralized exchanges, some of the exchanges, you'll find that their liquidity is in hundreds of thousands, in some few millions, all right? But those ones that have grown so big, you find them in hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. Well, however, you cannot compare the liquidity of a centralized exchange with that of decentralized exchange, because in a centralized exchange, the liquidity is coming from different sources, different business ecosystems. But in decentralized system, it is coming out from a specific source, which has to do with the owners of the blockchain that the smart contracts is built upon. So this can make it harder for users to find the best deals and execute trades efficiently. That is why I said earlier that you need the technical know-how to navigate the decentralized exchanges. That being said, furthermore, the decentralized exchanges require a certain level of technical expertise from users. Now, so to use these platforms effectively, users need to have basic understanding of cryptocurrency wallets, how they interact with the blockchain, and other technical aspects of decentralized finance. This can be a barrier of entry for those who are new to the space. These I'm talking about some of the risks and challenges. Now, finally, decentralized exchanges are not immune to vulnerabilities. Listen and listen good. They are not immune to vulnerabilities. Smart contracts which power these platforms can be vulnerable to errors in their coding. In the coding process, once there is an error in the smart contract coding, then there might be that tendency of vulnerabilities. This means that risks are associated with possible errors in the coding, which could compromise the security and integrity of the platform. While developers, yes, work hard to ensure the security of these contracts, it's essential for users to remain vigilant and keep being aware of potential risks. There are a lot of case studies, I don't want to mention them, whereby you see smart contracts operating on a website, and because they are operating on a website, there's that tendency that the coding of that smart contract can be altered, whereby business is being disrupted and people lose out on their funds or resources. So that is the little I can tell you with regards to risks or challenges with decentralized exchanges. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, I think I want to add to what Prof said. In the decentralized, there's what we call front-running and sandwich attacks. Some users with advanced knowledge or technology can exploit the DEX by front-running trades or executing sandwich attacks, where they can manipulate the prices for profit at the expense of other traders. That can, we can say that can happen as is a minor, it can be a minus. And then there's also what we call complexity, as he said, of the use. Because the basic knowledge, if you don't have the basic knowledge of something, you cannot just jump into it. So there's need for scalability. And that is why Dama Academy is here to, offer trainings, the basic training for whoever that wants to participate in blockchain technology, to be able to have this basic knowledge, the primary knowledge that one should have to be able to engage or be a participant of the blockchain technology. I think this is what I can add.
Okay, still on you, Mrs. Poloma. Thank you very much, Mr. Obaje, for that last contribution. But blockchain is an element of the whole system of decentralization. So, what role does blockchain play in a decentralized system? Mrs. Poloma, you can unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Thank you, Tochukwu. The blockchain itself is the foundation of decentralized finance because it enables secure, transparent, and decentralized financial transactions and applications. The key role of the blockchain technology is that the blockchain distributed ledger technology ensures that transactions are recorded and they are transparent in nature. So it reduces the need for intermediaries. And then the smart contracts that are powered by the blockchain are automated. They automate the execution of financial agreements because it's when the transaction agrees, that's when the computers, tell each other they solve the problems by themselves. So they ensure that the rules are enforced without the need for trust or any central authority at all. And then we discovered that the security, the cryptographic algorithm, and the decentralized consensus mechanism provides a secure environment for the financial transaction. So it eliminates trust and then intermediaries. And also the open source nature of the blockchain that it is built on. It's always built on an existing protocol, thereby creating new financial applications and services. So there's always room for additionals, for add-ons in the blockchain. And like I said earlier, there's global accessibility. The blockchain ensures there's proper global accessibility. It allows for global access to financial services, thereby promoting inclusion and democratization, because you are in charge of what you have. Other benefits of the blockchain in DeFi is that it increases transparency, and then there's improved security. It also reduces intermediaries, and it increases accessibility, because even those that are unbanked it is there for everybody. You can create your account without necessarily going to a banking hall to provide KYC, take your pictures. I have your NIN verifications and what have you. This one, as long as internet exists and you have connectivity, the decentralized, the blockchain is there. So it provides accessibility to everyone, irrespective. Being that as it may, we cannot say that the blockchain does not have its own challenges. One of the major challenges is scalability. Like I said, we are just coming new into this technology. So there's need for institutions and whoever it is that is interested to scale up our knowledge by learning more. And that is where Dharma Academy comes in. Then there's this regulatory uncertainty. Just of recent, the Nigerian government has unbanned the use of blockchain and cryptocurrency. We'll discover that we are still skeptical because we don't know how the regulatory body will come into play. So there are some people that are still skeptical because there are regulatory uncertainties. And then while the blockchain provides a secure environment, like Prof. Moses earlier said, DeFi applications can be vulnerable to security risks, such as smart contract vulnerabilities. You'll discover that maybe in the course of these engagements in future, we'll come and delve and dwell deeply in how to identify how to safeguard oneself. I think in our last engagement, we had something like that. If you are knowledgeable in a thing, you'll be able to know the pros and cons and how to avoid getting, becoming vulnerable to any challenge on the blockchain itself. And as well, that is where Dama Academy comes in. On the overall, blockchain technology plays a very vital role in enabling the decentralized finance by providing a secure, transparent, decentralized foundation for all financial transactions and applications. Thank you. Hello? Hello? We've lost.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mrs. Poloma. Now, we have talked about user control and privacy before when Mr. Obaje was speaking, but I want you to delve into it more. Control.
Hello? Hello?
How between traditional banking systems and then the DEX? How do they differ? Privacy.
I
Mrs.
couldn't get
Poloma?
your question very well. Your line is cracking. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
His line is cracking, so I couldn't hear what he was trying to bring out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. As you were saying, he said you talk about security, privacy, and all of that. So and what we learn is that this security, privacy, anonymity are the most valuable treasure in the digital space. So what he asks is that how does user control and privacy differs between traditional banking system and today's decentralized finance platforms?
Okay. The main advantages of using a decentralized exchange over a traditional exchange, I think that's what you are trying to ask. User autonomy. The user has full control over their funds. So it eliminates the need for a trust, to trust a third party in one's, to manage one's assets. And this is solely because you have self-custodial wallets and smart contracts that facilitate these transactions. And also there's enhanced privacy, where you do your transaction from the comfort is between you and your device, and how much you want to do transaction. It is not under the purview of anybody. And then it reduces the risk of hacking because DEX are less vulnerable to large scale hacks. As Prof earlier said, since there is no central repository of your funds. However, users must still manage their own private keys and security. And that is where knowledge comes in. You have to be knowledgeable to be able to handle your passwords, where to secure them, how to secure them is very key and essential. And then the decentralization benefits. The DEX embodies principles of blockchain technology. Thereby, it proffers transparency, fairness, and freedom in financial transactions. And like we earlier said, the low fees itself. So that security and privacy are key. And then the anonymity. How much you're going to transact is just between you and your device and the person you are transacting with. Nobody knows the sender and the receiver, but it is all there, transparent on the blockchain. It is recorded. I don't know whether I've answered your questions. But then obviously, one other thing we have to note is that there's no support in a DEX. So one has to be careful. That is why the knowledge is key. There's no support. In the centralized exchange, there's support. You can go and report, you know, that you made a transaction that has either failed or has gone to the wrong place. You can go and report. But in this case, in the decentralized exchange, it is absolutely not possible. So care and a lot of knowledge has to be put into it for one to be able to participate fully and well in the blockchain technology, in the blockchain space. We can't hear you. We can't hear
You are muted. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
You are not audible. Mr. Ibrahim, you're not audible at all.
Mr. Ibrahim, we can't hear you. You're not audible. You're not audible. We can't hear you.
Okay. But you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear Tokuchuku now.
Okay. Okay. Now let me continue. Mr. Obaje, because of time, give us examples of a token that can be bought from decentralized exchange.
All right. Thank you for that line of question. Now, I just want to let you know that there are a lot of tokens that can be bought from decentralized exchanges. There are lots of them. All right. And every day more are coming into the market space. In fact, even if it is Bitcoin you need, all right, as far as you are knowledgeable and you know how to navigate in the decentralized exchanges, you can always get Bitcoin. The basic thing is you being knowledgeable on the decentralized exchanges and how to navigate them, of which, thank you, Madam Poluma, this is one of the things that Dama Academy offers. We offer knowledge and mentorship, both theoretical and practical knowledge as far as blockchain, cryptocurrencies, digital assets, and artificial intelligence are concerned. There are a lot of them, like I mentioned, if it is Bitcoin, if it is Solana, if it is XRP, if it is Ethereum, if it is even the stable coins, which is USDC and USDT. These are tokens that can be bought from a decentralized exchange. In fact, let me make it clear. In my last 2 appearances, I made mention of a token, the Scan AI token. Now, I've come because I said it in my last meeting confidently. I think somebody asked a question that based on our analysis, can he go forth and buy this token? Which I told him, yes, I can beat my chest and tell you to go and buy this token. But gentlemen and ladies, let me clarify this afternoon that you cannot get this token on a centralized exchange. You can only get the Scan AI token on a decentralized exchange. So I'm telling you this afternoon that it is one of the tokens that you can get from a decentralized exchange, not a centralized exchange. You might go to the centralized exchange and you might not find it there. And one of the platforms that you can use to get this token is, like I said, it is built on the Solana network. So there are several exchanges, decentralized exchanges that you can get this token, but on the Solana network. But I would advise, based on research, based on experience, that you go for the Solflare wallet. The Solflare wallet is one of the best wallets, the most friendly wallet. Let me use that English. The most friendly wallet that you can get the Scan AI token. And I have come to let you know, those of you who, because of what we said, went for this token, that, like I said, it is at its early stage, of which I can recall my statement that if you want to have a very good returns on investment, you can embark on the journey of getting the Scan AI token. So like I rightly said, Bitcoin, Solana, USDT, XRP, Ethereum, all right, Core, and what have you. If you can navigate the decentralized exchanges, it is the best place for you to get these coins and these tokens. And for those who have been following the Scan AI token, I've come to let you know today that this token is still getting more traction. Just of lately, the token just got its website sent out to the global space. The Scan AI token, the website is ready and it is out there. Contact us if you want to have access to this website. For those of you who might be interested to get more knowledge with regards to this token, because for you presenting yourself in a space like this to gain more knowledge, we have also that mindset that whatever is good, we can also let you know so you can benefit from it as you benefit from our exposures, from our knowledge, from our trainings. So if you're interested in this token, like I said, the website is out. The white paper is out. The tokenomics of this token is out. So, but like I said, the most friendly platform, the most friendly wallet that you can get this Scan AI tokens with ease. All right? Because we're talking of the complexity of decentralized exchanges. The Solflare wallet is not that cumbersome. It's not that complex. Once you are a beginner and you have somebody who can guide you through, it's very, very simple to navigate the interface. All right, to navigate the interface. And like I said, I will still repeat it. It is still very, very affordable. If you are about to retire, if you are somebody like me, okay, that have few years to retirement, and you feel you need to have an asset for your retirement package, do well. It's an advice, though it might not be a financial advice, that do well to get some pieces of the Scan AI token. It's health-based, all right? It's health-based, so that after your retirement, you can be able to continue to checkmate your health, all right? And if you are a young chap that wants to dine with the big boys in the next few years, I will want to tell you this afternoon that get a few of these tokens, the Scan AI token. It's easily accessible. It can be found on the Solana blockchain, and you can use the Solflare wallet, which is one of the most friendly wallets that you can interact with on the Solana network. So thank you. With this decentralized exchange, all you need is knowledge to navigate these exchanges, and you can get access to as many tokens, to as many coins using the decentralized exchanges. Thank you, Mr. Tochukwu, for that line of question. I think I will stop here so that we can.
All right, thank you very much, Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, sir. We all heard the tokens that we can bought directly from DEX. Our AI prof has given us an insight on all the coins that we can board and with detailed precision. Thank you very much, sir. So with that, I think we are going to delve into the question and answer section. So if you have question, you can indicate yourself by raising your hand. Our audience, if you have question.
All right, before we go to the audience, Mr. Ibrahim, may I ask you a question too? Can I ask you a question?
All right, sir.
That based on the knowledge that has been given out over time, and you had me, you call me, now you call me prof, you had me talking about Scan AI. Have you been able to do your due diligence with regards to Scan AI tokens? It's a question for you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I do my due diligence, and as a matter of fact, I'm planning to contact you privately about today, because it's today that I just make up my mind that I'm going to buy the token and do my due diligence, and I'm convinced I have you, I have Digital Mama, and I know I'm safe. Anything that you bring, whether I take it or not, I know I'm safe. So, and I do my own due diligence.
All right, that's a great one,
because privately.
Because for you, the young chaps, we want to see you rolling in millions of dollars very soon, and it's very, very possible. That's what the blockchain and cryptocurrency space can offer. All right, so do well to contact me, and I'll be ready to give you every necessary assistance with regards to that.
Amen, sir. Amen, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, you can go to the audience.
All right, sir.
Somebody, excuse me, Ibrahim. Somebody asked a question, dropped a question on a box. Said, "How can I access training? How can I access training?" So let me quickly say that a number has been dropped on the question box. So just send a text to that number. Dama means Digital Assets Management Academy. If you send a text to that number, then we take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tochukwu. Any question?
There's a question on the chat.
Our audience, if you have question. There's one more question in the chat, I think.
There is. There's a question on the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Somebody is asking what benefits. There's a question on the chat box.
You come across the question.
Let me just answer the question, I think.
Okay, madam, you can read out the question because maybe he's not getting the question. Even me, I've not, network can be funny. Yes. You can read out the question and then go ahead to answer the question. And if there's need for me to contribute, I'll do that.
Okay. The person is asking what are the what are the which is better? Sorry, I'm coming. Just give me a second. I'm trying to navigate as well. Okay, he's trying to find out what makes it different? What's the difference between centralized exchange and decentralized exchange? I think that's the question the person is asking. But if the person can come online and do the needful, we'll be like, I couldn't access the entire question. Yeah, I can see the question. Well, I think basically what the person is trying to find out is what is the difference between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. Here we mean, when we talk about centralized exchanges, we are talking actually about centralized exchanges like Binance and their likes. And then the other DEXs that we talk about, like the DEX Screener, Jupiter, Radium, and in that class as well. The difference, I think, between these decentralized and decentralized exchanges is that the centralized exchanges will require you to have KYC, and because they operate with some certain, they can be regulated. Whereas the decentralized exchange, like we earlier said, is not regulated. And but all of them have tokens that they deal with. But you'll discover that most of the tokens that are yet to be listed on the centralized exchange, you find all of them in the decentralized exchange. And basically, these are the two differences that I can give you. The decentralized exchange is between you and your wallet and what have you. Whereas in the centralized exchange, you must have a KYC. There's a support system in the centralized exchanges. Unlike in the DEX, there's no support. Whatever you are doing is between you, and so care must be taken for you to take into cognizance all the risk factors associated with securing your wallet itself. Thank you. I don't know if Professor Moses has anything more to add.
I think you have said it all, madam. You've said it all with regards to centralized and decentralized. All right. One thing is that the key issue is the security of your funds is in your hands. It doesn't belong to anybody. But when you are in centralized exchanges, the security of your funds is dependent on the control. That's a third party, and which you have nothing to do about. Whatever happens, you just have to take it that way. But with decentralized exchanges, it all boils down to you. You decide what happens to your funds. Thank you. Before I go off, Mr. Tochukwu still drop that number. I think one engineer is still saying that he cannot find the number. So please, you can still drop the number once again.
All right, I'm dropping it right away.
And then the question as well.
The website of Bodyscan AI has already been dropped. Thank you for that. I can see the website, www.bodyscanai.io. That's the website if you want to get more knowledge. Thank you.
I think somebody dropped a question again. Can one get a video training on blockchain? Obviously, there are a host loads of videos on blockchain. on YouTube, on the internet, on the internet space, I would say generally. You have short videos that are, and even longer versions of the videos to explain everything about the blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it's available. Once you type blockchain, whether it's on YouTube or on the any of whether it's on your Google or Meta AI, now that we are in the age of artificial intelligence, the answers are there. Even from your WhatsApp, you can type and ask Meta what blockchain is, and it will be explained to you. If you need a video version, they will even redirect you to YouTube, and you get all these videos there. So the blockchain is just everywhere on the space, both in video and in written form for you to be able to navigate and learn more. But then basically, in the Dharma Academy, you have more practicalized and, face-to-face training about the blockchain itself, which will make it more real because you'll be given real life practical examples of how to navigate the space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our digital mommy. For the sake of time, I think we are going to round up, but we have 2 hands. So I'll give, please, real quick, 2 minutes. Elizabeth, you can have the mic. 2 minutes, please. Unmute yourself. Elizabeth, if you're with me, unmute yourself, please. Mr. Paul Elumba, if you are with us.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tochukwu, and thank you very much, Mr. Omar. And also, I also thank our powerful presenters, Mr. Obaje, and the digital mama, Mrs. Paloma. We appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I want to say something, please, concerning Dharma Academy. For those who might want to, concerning what Dharma Academy is doing, the training that we are offering, I want to also let everyone know that Dharma Academy can also train a whole organization or community or union or any organization at all. We can, anywhere in the world, we can offer to train online on special arrangements. So everybody can contract Dharma Academy to train their organization, no matter the number, whether 100, 500, 1,000, to take them online with an arrangement. So if you have any organization and you want to be the government union, state union, student alumni association, a WhatsApp group, or whatever at all that you want your people to have the knowledge of blockchain and how to navigate in this terrain that involves this DEX and the SEX, that is decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges and other stuff like that, anything related to blockchain. Please feel free to contact Dharma Academy to create that arrangement to train your organization. Thank you. I don't know if I'm clear.
Over clear.
I don't know if you heard me.
Over clear.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Tochukwu.
Elizabeth said she cannot unmute herself. I don't know. Any of the people do that?
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear.
All right. Elizabeth says she can't unmute herself. I saw the message. And
can she scribble the question?
yeah, Elizabeth, just put down the question on the chat.
Have you asked her to unmute?
Ask her to unmute. She said she can't unmute herself. Can you unmute yourself now? If you can't, please just drop the question in the chat. All right. We have exhausted our time already, and I think we should draw the curtain from here. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring today's session to a close, we extend our deepest appreciation to each and every one of you for joining us in this vital conversation on the future of finance. Our heartfelt thanks to our distinguished speakers, Mr. Moses Obaje, our digital prof, and Mrs. Shipra Poluma, our digital mama, for unpacking the complexities of decentralized exchanges, drawing clear distinction between traditional financial systems and the emerging role of DeFi, and showing us what this transformation means for access, control, and transparency in global finance. We're proud to remind you that this session, proudly sponsored by Digital Asset Management Academy, DAMA, a premier digital education institution located in Garki, Abuja. DAMA is at the forefront of preparing the next generation of tech service professionals and ethical digital leaders across Africa. Both of today's speakers are lead instructors at DAMA, where they train individuals in areas such as blockchain, digital finance, cybersecurity, and AI. If you found value in today's program, imagine the depth of insight and practical knowledge you will gain as a student at DAMA. Whether you are a beginner or a professional seeking to upskill, DAMA offers tailored courses, expert mentorship, and hand-on learning to help you thrive in digital economy. Register now because it is open to everyone. For more information, please visit the number dropped in the chat. Once again, thank you for joining us. Until our next session, stay curious, stay secured, and stay connected. Thank you and goodbye to you all.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you, Madam Paloma. Thank you, Professor Moses.
Thank you. Thank
Goodbye.
you. God bless.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye and
Goodbye.
out.
Thank you, host.
Body scan to the moon.
Yes, body scan to the galaxies. Good.